season finale of season 1 of Coy Cubed. This is week 30 of Coy Cubed, or thereabouts. I cannot believe we're already at week 30, but here we are. I started this show right after the new year and all the stuff with Collider and Heroes, and we are now into July. We are halfway through this year. This is episode 30, thereabouts. It's like 29 of Coy Cubed, and it is the season finale because I don't know if you guys can hear that echo. This is my now empty apartment. I'll be leaving this place. I've already started moving into the new place. My patrons have seen my new place. There's a Patreon only video of the walkthrough. So this episode's gonna be echoey because I saved this set just for you guys. This was the last stuff to move. This art wall is the very last thing to move. I have waited to move this set piece until after today. So I'm going to be taking down Connor, Deadpool, Spidey, Stranger Things, Donald Glover, and my whole row of Avengers up top. Vegeta's coming too. So I wanted to make sure we got a final episode in. So this is a very special Saturday episode. I don't usually film on Saturdays, but I thought we should make sure to do that. So there will be no Coy Cubed next week. Next week, I won't even have the internet at my new place yet. I was supposed to get, I done messed it up. I was supposed to do like a self-install kit, and of course my coax cable at my new place doesn't work. Anyway, if you're watching this for news, and now you've heard me rambling on, I apologize. I wanted to make sure folks that have followed this show from the jump know there's gonna be a brand new set next week. There might be a new schedule. I'm probably gonna keep it to Tuesdays, but maybe we'll mix it up, we'll see what happens. Next Friday, so not this Friday, not yesterday. A week from yesterday, 6 days from now, I hope to be back with a brand new craft beer and comic books. I never want to leave you guys for a full week, so I wanted to jump in on a Saturday and make sure I got a show in. And then next Friday, we're hoping to have a craft beer and comic book episode on Friday. So fingers crossed we can get that going. We're going to have the internet, we're going to have all sorts of good stuff, and I'm finally leaving the garage. At the very end of this episode, I'm going to turn this camera around. You guys are going to see where and how I've been living for the last 6 months, and I'm excited for that sweet, sweet freedom. All right, let's dive into the news. As always, I'm going to try to get in the Streamlabs every news story, and I'm going to try to get in the super chat as well. But I will also try to check the live chat, especially because this is a very special Saturday episode. Right before we went, I saw a few people saying they appreciated my Fight Club watch along and all sorts of other commentaries doing so. Thank you very much for watching the Fight Club watch along. I've gotten a lot of love for the Rob Liefeld interview I did with Collider as well. Check that out on Collider Connected. That dropped this morning. Now that's confused a decent amount of people. Heroes is over. Collider Video is in transition, and I freelance do comic book shopping and the occasional thing for Collider. There's no bad blood between me and Collider. I'm a freelance guy, so I'm not like at Collider because that's not the way it works on the internet, unfortunately. And since Heroes is done, I'm not there every week. But I do have a lot of love for Collider, and I was really appreciative of basically getting to use the platform, because me and Rob were already going to talk, and then we just made it bigger by doing it, over on that network. So it was really cool to kind of do an interview with me and Rob and go through Collider. It was good to reconnect with old friends over Collider to make that interview happen, so I had a lot of fun doing it. If you guys haven't checked it out, it is over on Collider Video on their YouTube page. They've got a few articles up about some of the stuff we talked about in the interview, and as ever, comic book shopping will be back once the world allows it. Once it's safe to do comic book shopping, we will be doing comic book shopping. And again, no bad blood about that whole situation, because that situation led to this, and I really love doing Coy Cubed with you guys, and I love the freedom of talking about everything. Usually it's comic book heavy, but it's not just comic books. And speaking of which, let's kick it off with the big story of today. The headline story for me is, there we go. I don't know if we're getting movies this year. We basically, there's a giant thing going around basically saying that the debts have been handled to the point where AMC can get through 2021. Now, being a savvy business person, it makes sense they'd prepare well in advance if anything was going to happen. But to me, that's extra fortifying for us not having a holiday movie season. I'm trying not to get into the politics of the lockdown and wearing masks and all that every single episode. I try to touch on it every couple episodes. And this is a Saturday episode. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it with some levity. But even with that said, there will be ramifications for the spikes of what's going on in the world. We are going to be losing a lot of the data with the CDC being leapt over and all of the testing going straight to the White House. I worry, frankly. So the numbers might not be as accurate starting 2 weeks from now. I would worry about when there's less cases in 2 weeks. Again, we're not going to get in politics. That said, it's not going to be necessarily safe to go to the movie theater as soon as we would want. The last time I went to the movies, I saw The Gentleman and Onward, and that would have been in February. I considered to go to the movies in early March to go see Bloodshot, but that was when coronavirus had just started to percolate with the scope of what it was going to be. We knew the coronavirus was out there. We didn't really know what it was until second week of March. I decided that week to not go to the movie theater. Haven't been back since. 2 weeks later, the movie theater shut down. I think it might be a full calendar year from that point. I think there's a very high likelihood we don't have any movie theaters opening in America, domestically, between March and March. I could see this being a next year situation. I could see it being a next summer situation. I could see them opening for April and having summer movies start to roll out in April like Shazam did last year. I'm not saying I want this. I'm saying it's probably the safest, and therefore I want the safest. I want movie theaters. I miss movie theaters. You guys watching this know how much I love movie theaters. But I don't even think they should do the Oscars this year. I think 2020 should, not be a wash, but the movies that are considered in those 2 months, the January, February months, January is already Oscar season for 2019, right? So those movies were already in consideration. I think the February movies should get included in the 2021 slot. I don't think it's safe to campaign for Oscars. I don't think people realize just how much interconnectivity there is, and everyone's rotating in and out of a few rooms for junkets. There's a lot of glad handing, literally handing, in these situations, and I don't think it's going to be safe. So I had a buddy ask me on my Instagram what I think this meant for Oscars, because I posted I didn't think we were getting movie theaters again this year. I think we should just move everything to next year and see that as what it's going to be. Now, the reason I don't think we should release movies on VOD is because, for example, The Batman is half filmed, a little over half filmed. I've heard everything from a third filmed to a little over half filmed. I'm not working on The Batman. I don't know the truth. I've heard both rumors. That's going to take twice as long to finish that last third or the last half, whichever is true. And that's a movie that's already well underway, and a movie that has a multi-$100 million budget, so they can build indoor sets. The Batman is going from on-location sets to in-studio sets because it's much safer, it's much more contained, there's less variables when you film indoors. You can check people's temperature, you can control, and even then you have hundreds of people on set. You've got to check each and every one of them. It's going to be shorter filming days because you've got to get everyone in, processed, make sure they're good, then film, then wrap. It's a different thing. Filming is going to take a lot longer. So if we run out of supply, we have a certain stock of movies that are finished. We have a certain amount of movies that are almost finished. We have a certain amount of shows. If we start releasing those on VOD, we'll eventually run out of movies to play in theaters when they do open back up. Now, people have been arguing with me saying that they can play the same movies that were on VOD at a discounted rate. People aren't going to pay any amount of money that'll help these movie theaters stay open or help the studios get their money back at discounted rates or even at full rate. The average person, not cinephiles, not maybe you or I, isn't going to see a movie for $20 at home and then 6 months later pay $12 to see it in theater. If you're in LA, you're going to pay $15, $18. And I get that movie theaters are super expensive. I had a short conversation with someone on Instagram today saying that me siding with movie theaters was something to do with capitalism. I couldn't quite grasp his point, but I want to understand what he had to say. It's not that I want people spending exorbitant amounts of money. I think the movie theater system is flawed, but I think the industry of movie theaters is very, very important. So in my humble opinion, the industry of movie theaters, be it from concessionists and ushers all the way to people that do press, to people that do, making the trailers, like the movie theater industry is hundreds of thousands of people when you look at the movie side, the studio side, the actual theater side. I don't want that industry to implode. We will run out of movies to play because it's going to be a long time till the movies that are almost done are finished, and it's going to be a long time until it's safe to go back to the theater. I think that we should play the movies that we have now because hundreds of movies are available at home. Literally hundreds of movies for the last 100 years are available right now on all these streaming services. There's a new streaming service every week. Peacock just came out. There's also tons of shows. I'm about to start Kingdom on Netflix because I'm so excited. I think I see someone saying theaters and studios can re-release older films to make benefit both. Yes, Psycho. I totally agree with that concept. I think classic films, your Back to the Futures, your Jurassic Parks, all of those things are an option when it's safe to go back to the theater as a warm-up, as a transition back into movie theaters. And I think that drive-ins are an excellent thing for those kind of movies, but it's not safe yet to be indoors, enclosed, surrounded by people. So I personally think we're going to find out at the end of next week that I think Marvel or Tenet is going to move. And then when that starts, it's going to be a cascade. I think Bond, we're hearing all these rumors that Bond is moving in 2021. Bond was the first thing to move in March, and it moved twice. I think it's going to move a third time to 2021. I also think Disney is going to say, hey, we're moving Black Widow again, and or Tenet, and then it's going to be a cascade of new release dates that are 2021. So I personally think that's the way things are going. I could be wrong. I'm also not a doctor. I don't know what people are going to recommend. I know with schools, everything's really hard and tricky right now. I think that movie theater is going to be a very similar thing. But I do have a Streamlabs from Mr. Michael McCarsell. Michael McCarsell has this to say: glad you were able to do a stream today. Definitely need some cheering up. I've accepted that we probably aren't going to go back to a theater safely this year. I can at least use this time to catch up on so many other things I've missed. Dude, that is exactly what I'm doing. I totally agree. I'm watching Kingdom, which is what a show I've always wanted to see. It's 3 seasons on Netflix. It's about MMA. It stars 2 of my favorite actors, Jonathan Tucker and Frank Grillo. Very excited for that. It's my exact shit. I never have time to watch it. I'm going to watch The Good Place for some comedy and some levity. That's a show I missed and I've always wanted to see. I'm going to catch up on tons. I made if you guys don't follow me on Letterboxd, Letterboxd is this incredible social media app, Letter, BOXD, wherein you can rate movies on a scale of 1 through 5 stars, and you can make watch lists, you can make it's a beautiful app. And I have 200 movies from the last 25 years that I want to watch. Very excited to check out all of the movies that I've missed the last 25 years. And there's hundreds of them that I've missed, and I see movies like candy, like I consume them. So there's a lot that the average person has to see. So Michael, I totally agree with you. I think it's much better to keep people safe. I think it's much better that movie theaters don't necessarily reopen. As of now, I think they're still saying July 30th for AMC. I think that's going to change very soon. I think Monday or Tuesday we're going to hear something. I just have a feeling we're about to have this giant tectonic shift. So anyone that wants to comment below, let me know what you guys think of the safety of it, of what movies, should do, your opinion. It's all opinion. This is just my opinion. I also think, for what it's worth, there is merit to certain films like The King of Staten Island or An American Pickle, like these 10 to 45, $50 million comedies, or like your Trolls 2 to make their money back, that maybe wouldn't have the longevity to survive until 2021. That said, Marvel's going to be just as big and important in 2021. James Bond is something that people are always going to want to go see. We need to save some tentpoles so movie theaters have something to reopen with. So I think there are exceptions to my no VOD rule. I can't wait to watch An American Pickle on HBO Max. I'm going to fully support that. But at the same time, there's literally new shows and new movies coming out on streaming services every day. So I think it's safer to stay home. I think it's better for everyone. I think it's overall going to benefit us to stay indoors. If you go out, wear a mask. But yeah, I think it's a really tricky precedent that's being set by these conversations. So, and a lot of people in the chat are saying right now, like, they're not going to go to the movies until it's safe. Would anyone not want to stay in any movie in 2020 theaters this year? Starter is asking. Small things in VOD is realistic, Michael McCarsell says, but they just need to push everything. Yeah, that's how I see it going. So thank you for agreeing, Michael. I'm going to go over to the next news story. We'll probably cycle back to that. But you can expect Bond to move this week officially. You can expect AMC to make a press conference announcement. Their debt thing through 2021 is personally great. Because they're the biggest movie chain in the country, so them staying afloat, like, I'm so worried about the little guy. I'm so worried about the indie theaters. I'm so worried about all of these restaurants and all of these small businesses. It's a terrifying time for everyone, but my heart goes out to everybody that's going through this. Like, literally, you are affected. You, whoever is watching this, you are affected, so my heart goes out to you, because I was living in a garage, I'm moving into a 1-bedroom, and I'm going to stay there. I'm glad I'm moving from 200 feet to more, so I can, like, spread my wings a little, because I'm going to stay home the next 6 months I'm fucking home, and I'm gonna watch the shit out of some movies. That said, patrons, anyone that's watching this that is a patron, I'm going to be a week late on delivery of some assets for my patron tiers because I'm moving. I've only slept like 4 hours a night because I'm really trying to get moved in so I can get back to making stuff for you guys. I got the keys on the 13th. It is currently the 18th. I'm almost unpacked, which is insane. I built 4 pieces of furniture. I didn't have any furniture because I was living in a garage. All of this said, my reviews are going to be a little backed up. So to John Getz and to Michael McCarcel, to AJ Lannister, to Heather Long, it's just going to be a little bit of a delay for some of the content coming out. And I'm very excited. Jeff Lee, I owe you a Skype call. That's coming, I promise you. It's just going to be a week late, so I do apologize for the delay, but this move was really important, had to get done. So, in the world of Netflix news, The Gray Man has one of the craziest casts ever assembled. It is going to be directed by the Russo brothers, and it's going to be starring, I am words, guys, that's what's happening, Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling in a movie together as directed by the Russo brothers. I haven't known so little about a project and been this excited in a very long time. That series of names, that ingredient medley is everything I could ever hope for from a Netflix film. Now, Netflix is doing their largest budget to date for The Gray Man. They had a huge budget for 6 Underground, which was a Michael Bay, Ryan Gosling joint, and they're going bigger with this insanity. They're also doing a movie with The Rock and Ryan Gosling. They're definitely throwing a lot of money around, and right now is a good time to be at home watching streaming content. So I personally, when there are Netflix movies that are available in theaters that like I pick or what have you, I do go out and see them in theaters because for me, I'm a theater guy, and I'm going to support even movies that are made for streaming in theaters. I love the theatrical experience. So I'm really hoping when this comes out in 2 or 3 years, it'll be safe to go to a movie theater, because this sounds insane. So largest budget so far, it is a mano-a-mano espionage thriller. So it's going to be Chris Evans v. Ryan Gosling going tete. Now, it is the Russo brothers Agbo producing. This was something they teased at Comic-Con last year. All of the things they were producing, this was one of the ones on the slate. I got to talk to the Russos recently before coronavirus. I was talking to them about 12 Underground. Also, you can see that interview over Collider. I sat down with the Russos for a few minutes and we talked about their Agbo producing and everything they wanted to do. We were actually supposed to sit down and talk Avengers Endgame and Infinity War as a double header. And it never came to be because of the coronavirus, which is such a bummer. But one day, me and the Russos are going to sit down on video for you guys because I got a ton of questions and I get along with those guys great. They're amazing people. Anyway, they're producing a giant Netflix film with those two. It is about a freelance assassin and former CIA operative named Coy-Jandreau and the man who's hunting him. So it's coming from Russo brothers and Mike LaRocca, and they are going to be directing it as well. Gendry, who's played by Gosling, is hunted across the globe by Lloyd Henson, who's played by Chris Evans, and this sounds bitchin'. It was originally developed at New Regency as a Brad Pitt, James Gray vehicle, but when that stalled out, the Russos started developing it quietly years ago, and now it is official and it is moving forward. So, The Gray Man, I am hype. It is coming to Netflix. It is going to be huge. Speaking of giant movies over on Netflix, there is going to be a Project Power movie, which I did not hear about. This was completely out of my radar, and it's my style of movie. It's a superhero movie, but it's like Limitless meets Fantastic Four. It's like you take this pill, and you don't know what your powers are going to be. So it reminds me of the Cosmic Rays. They didn't know what was going to happen. And there's also a guy on fire, so Human Torch vibes. There's also an Invisible Man. Very Fantastic Four vibes. Instead of Invisible Woman, there's an Invisible Man. That said, it stars Jamie Foxx. It brings Joseph Gordon-Levitt back out of retirement. He did 7500, this really slept on Amazon film, and now he's coming back with another streamer, Netflix's own Project Power. So Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Coulson Baker. Yes, Machine Gun Kelly is the guy on fire in that trailer. I'm a big Machine Gun Kelly fan, both as a what he does for individuals. Like he's big into philanthropy. I like him as a rapper, like him as an actor, like him as a dude. So Machine Gun Kelly in a movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Jamie Foxx is my exact shit. And it's superhero? Hell yeah. So Project Power is coming out, I believe, late summer. I should have gotten there, at least it down. Sorry about that. I believe it's coming out in August. I'm going to look that up real quick. But it looks like a summer tentpole movie, and that's what these streaming services are starting to put out, which is pretty crazy what they can do. It is directed by Henry Joost. Again, I'm very excited for Joseph Gordon-Levitt to come back out. Yeah, August 14th, so it is coming out very, very soon. We're like 4 weeks away from a new, thank you, live chat, Zeno Hour, I appreciate you. It looks so rad. Like, I'm very, very excited. And the writer of this co-wrote The Batman, so it's going to be a hell of a thing. That's the next point I was getting to, Zeno. I appreciate you. The writer is reputable. Like, this is a good writer. So the trailer's a little cheesy for my liking, but I think you have to appeal to a really broad audience with something like this. So I think it's going to be a little bit more tonally level than the trailer looks. I also like that it's kind of like a Michael Mann use of grain. I love Michael Mann. Maybe it's because Jamie Foxx, who's in Miami Vice, reminded me of Michael Mann, but there's a Miami Vice-esque, Michael Mann-esque flavor in this trailer that I really dig. So I'm excited. 4 weeks away, we get a superhero joint with some of my favorite actors. I miss Joseph Gordon-Levitt on the big screen, so I'm excited to have him on the small screen. Very excited for this whole project. So we'll be checking that out very, very soon. I'm going to jump into the live chat very quickly. Lewis says Ryan Gosling should be in the MCU. He is awesome. I think that he wouldn't want to commit to 9 films or whatever they have to now, but I agree. He is awesome, and I like me some MCU. I see why he's not. He's not jumping on those blockbusters, and I get it. When you do stuff like the other guys, I'm okay with you not being in the superhero movies, but I would love him to be because I'm a big Gosling fan. A lot of love for Baby Goose. All right, let's see. I saw The Old Guard last night. I want a series, please. I'm watching The Old Guard as soon as I have internet at my new place. They are coming over to install it on Wednesday. Again, the self-install kit did not work. I have trouble with internet. They're coming over Wednesday. I'm hoping to watch it Thursday. So by the time I'm back with you guys in 2 Tuesdays, I will talk about The Old Guard because I'm excited to see it as well. Zeno Hours are also excited for The Gray Man. People are saying to get settled. Oh, Michael, thank you for saying I can't get time to get settled. I appreciate it because it has been a no-sleep move, and I'm very excited to be tucked in and done carrying heavy things. Let's see. Joseph Gordon-Levitt should be in the Batman Beyond film as Robin. I would love that, personally. I know the end of the movie left us like, what is this Robin concept? Like, where could we go? I don't know if that's going to tie into... I mean, obviously they can bring in Bale in this Batverse they're making. If they can bring in Keaton, they can bring in Bale. And I wouldn't mind the scope of multiple Batmen as this Flashpoint event. It'd be crazy. Imagine if there's a Christian Bale cameo, and then you could really do... you could do everything. You could bring in any actor that was willing, just like the CW did. You could have... Michael Keaton's era of Batman involved. So not just Michael Keaton, but you could have Michelle Pfeiffer pop up. You could have Danny DeVito in there. You're not going to get Jack Nicholson to show up, but you could. And then you could also have, imagine Christian Bale talking to Michael Keaton, both as Batmans, introducing this concept of Robert Pattinson's Batman to Flashpoint. There's so many options with this, and it's kind of timing appropriate. Like, as an actor, you'd 2 days of filming as Batman again, and then you get to be this giant, 5-minute scene, but it's this giant revelatory scene. I don't think Bale would do it, but I would love it. And if you had Bale, then you could absolutely have Robin with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Or if you can't get Bale, still have Robin in that way. Be cool. Be really cool. I doubt it, but we can dream. Okay, over to more news. Speaking of superhero content that is getting delayed, Falcon Winter Soldier is not coming out next month. Originally, Falcon and Winter Soldier was set to come out August 2020, which, spoiler alert, is in 2 weeks. But I do not see that happening because it is not on the slate, it is not done filming, and they're set to go back to production in September. September follows August, and they have to edit. So we are not getting any of the glorious, glorious Falcon Winter Soldier just yet. They had filmed quite a bit. This is something that can wrap up and be given to us, I'm assuming, in the winter. If they're filming in September and they've only got like 10-15% left to film, with all the time they've had in pre-production, I could see this being a November release. They're moving WandaVision to spring of 2021. I could see that being moved again, but I can also see that working out in the spring, depending on Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, I believe, my theory is ties directly into the end of WandaVision. I think that Doctor Strange and the Madness of the Multiverse is a sequel to the show WandaVision, wherein we see Wanda become Scarlet Witch, and that lead to events that lead to Doctor Strange. I've talked about it before. I'm not going to bore you guys if you've heard my theories, but I do think WandaVision's timing is very important for Doctor Strange's timing. So I could see them pushing everything, both because they have to, but also because of the shape of Phase 4. It is really interesting how they've been able to move the release date schedules around. Like, Thor comes out a completely different time in the slots than it was supposed to. It's actually coming out before movies that was scheduled to come out after. So fascinating juggling all around. That said, Falcon and Winter Soldier is the first of the MCU Disney Plus shows, so I think they're going to make that a big winter, we're stuck at home extravaganza event a la The Mandalorian. That said, The Mandalorian is done filming. It's had a lot of time in post-production. I could see The Mandalorian moving up because of Falcon and Winter Soldier. We might get The Mandalorian a little earlier, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier take that spot. I'm really excited for the Falcon and Winter Soldier because I think it's the most topical of the properties coming out. I think what we're seeing with the real America, there's going to be a lot of that reflected, especially if you've read like Daniel Acuna's run of Captain America with Sam as Cap. He did the art. Sorry, the writer was Coates, and it's a powerful run and it's brutal. But it's very topical, and that's really unfortunate. So I could see it being a very controversial series, especially with the first one Disney Plus is pointing out. We'll see. But I think that is going to be coming early winter from Disney Plus, and I think it's going to be spectacular. I can't wait for that Zemo mask. So it got delayed. No release date yet, but it is not coming out next month because it is still filming in September. Hopefully it's safe to film in September for them. All right, next week, however, we do have a New Mutants panel at San Diego Comic-Con at Home. Comic-Con at Home is going to be a giant event that is free and beamed directly into your home. I am very excited to see what goes on with New Mutants. I could see this panel being an announcement for being on VOD, and that sigh of disappointment was only because I really wanted to see this big, and if they released it on VOD, which I get, it's been pushed 5 times. I get that, but if they do that, I don't think we'll get to see it in theaters, and that's a bummer. So I'm excited for this panel, but the fact that they gave us another teaser and they gave us more footage has me believe they're going to announce, hey, go check it out on Hulu or Disney Plus right now. Huzzah! But that means no theatrical, probably. That said, it could just be a round table. It could be them showing some exclusive footage. Could be them talking about the process. I know in the contracts of both the director and some of the actors, there is a theatrical clause, but at this point, I could see them breaking that to have it on VOD. I really hope not. It also might be something that's VOD, whereas it doesn't go to Hulu or Netflix, and it then becomes, a $20, $25, $30 purchase, and that would help them recoup some. But again, I personally hope it's theatrical. I just saw Jason Ritchie pop up in the super chat, and I want to say thank you to him. He just wanted to send some love. Jason Ritchie, you are a gentleman, a scholar, and a fantastic human being. I very much appreciate you, and I miss you. You're a good one. I'm glad you enjoy my show, man. It's so cool to see names I recognize pop up in the live chat, as well as people I've come to recognize through the live chat. So it's cool to see friends and new friends alike. So Jason Ritchie, much obliged. I appreciate you. I receive the love. I thank you. So New Mutants is July 23rd at 2 p.m. is the panel. So 5 days from now, we will know the fate of the New Mutants at 2 p.m. I will not be... my show that I'm missing next week to move is going to be reviewing that. So when I'm back, my season 2, episode 1 is going to be San Diego Comic-Con at Home coverage. That feels so perfect. Couldn't have planned it better. So this move was fated in the stars. The timing of my move in San Diego lined up. I actually want to talk about San Diego with you guys. This weekend would be San Diego Comic-Con. My Instagram popped up the memories thing, and 7 years ago, I have a picture of me and one of my favorite authors of all time, Chuck Palahniuk, at Comic-Con 7 years ago, and it blew my mind. I think it's like one of the last times I saw Chuck Palahniuk. It's such an important weekend to me. I love Comic-Con so very much, so this is like a bittersweet thing that it feels good to be being safe. It feels good to be, respecting what we need to be doing to help others. But this is one of those events that it shapes my year. Con season starts in March with WonderCon, and it doesn't end until I'm dragging my near lifeless body across August's finish line, and then I rally and go to Burning Man 2 weeks later. But I love San Diego Comic-Con. It's one of my favorite things. I see people I only see there once a year. I see friends that I live down the street from, but we never have time to see each other, but we see each other in San Diego, and it's like we've not missed a beat. I've made so many contacts that I've worked with later. I've booked guests. I've gotten to meet so many of my heroes. Comic-Con means the world to me. I'm so bummed, but it's what we got to do. So everyone out there complaining about missing this, that, or the other, I'm with you in being bummed and missing San Diego Comic-Con. That is my big deficit this year is this weekend and then Burning Man. They're both going to be really hard weekends for me, but Hopefully next year, hopefully the world picks itself back up. If we're careful now, then it is ever more likely and ever safer to do stuff next year. So if you wanna be proactive about what you can do to make San Diego 51 happen in 2021, mask up, go out as little as possible. I'm bummed as hell. I will be participating and watching San Diego Comic-Con. Some scheduling stuff got in the way. That said, Mainframe Comic-Con is a digital-only con, August 15th and 16th, and I am one of their panelists. So Mainframe Comic-Con, I'll be doing lots and lots of stuff for them. I've got a bunch of creatives that I'm fans of in this con that I'm really excited to meet digitally. I've got some friends that are professionals doing this con that I'm very excited to see again. Donnie Cates is going to be there. I've never met Al Ewing, but Al Ewing's going to be there. I'm really, really excited for this con. So Mainframe Comic-Con reached out, and I'm officially teaming up with them, and you guys are hearing all about that first. That'll be August 15th and 16th, so that helps bandage the wound of losing San Diego Comic-Con. But I will see you guys at Mainframe Comic-Con. It is completely free. If you buy art or buy any of the things, all proceeds do go to charity. It's a con for charity, which I love, and the people in it are absolutely incredible, and everyone I've talked to so far organizing it are great. So I'll be doing panels. I'll be announcing my schedule for that. It is August 15th and 16th. I should know my schedule probably late July, early August for when and whom I'll be interviewing and stuff. So I'm very excited to share that with y'all and to be with y'all during Mainframe Comic-Con. All right, over to the world of, and also when I come back from my Comic-Con review, expect many, many stories, because this week is about news and season 1 ending, but when I'm back, I have so much love for Comic-Con that I will be remembering, and then I'll have to talk about it. So expect some stuff in 2 weeks, some San Diego memories. Also in the world of comic book movies, fittingly to San Diego Comic-Con, this probably would have been announced at San Diego Comic-Con, Noah Centineo has joined the cast of Black Adam as Atom Smasher. Now, Atom Smasher, not Adam, Atom. My accent doesn't allow for those words to sound very different. Atom Smasher is very much like an Ant-Man character. He can change his strength by changing his molecular size, and I'm really curious how DC handles that kind of power set, especially in a movie that seems to be gearing to be as dark as Black Adam. I know we're getting the first theatrical Justice Society of America, which will be interesting because now that Flash has appeared as Ezra Miller and Grant Gustin in the CW shows, and now that Stargirl is officially a CW show, what is the continuity ramifications of the Justice Society of America with Black Adam versus the CW? Because technically it's one universe. Now that's a multiverse concept, it's a multiple Earth concept, so they can easily, but I'm wondering if they'll reference it. Like, you can easily have it not even be a thing, but I'm curious if they're going to reference the Justice Society of the Stargirl universe. I doubt it, I wouldn't put money on it, but it is an option. So the Justice Society Theatrical is debuting in Black Adam, and we now have our Atom Smasher as played by Noah Centineo, which is very exciting. Congratulations to him. I do not know the actor very well. I've not seen much of his work, but anytime someone gets cast as a superhero, I'm happy for him because they get to play a goddamn superhero. All right, over to comic books themselves, the tangible ones, the ones you can feel, the ones you can hold. It is officially free comic book summer, y'all. Free comic book day was canceled. It is usually the first week in May. So much so that on the bag it doesn't even say a date, it just says first weekend in May, and that is I think it says first Saturday in May. They keep those bags year round because it's always true every year. It's like a piece of comic book lore is seeing that bag. This year it is free comic book summer. The next 9 Saturdays throughout the summer there is a free comic from multiple publishers coming to your local comic book stores. It's a great incentive to get to your local comic book store, wearing a mask, being careful. There's huge books from Marvel, Image, DC, Archie. Every year there's this sleeper book that ends up selling for crazy collector's market value that's a free comic. Go celebrate Free Comic Book Day. It started today. Another reason I wanted to do a Saturday conversation with you. Go to your comic book store today. It is 3:30 on the West Coast. If you live in the West Coast or Central Time, your comic store is probably still open. Mask up, call them, pick up some free comics. If not, go tomorrow. Free comic book summer starts right now. I know Golden Apple is doing all sorts of still cool stuff today. I haven't checked out House of Secret stuff, but I know Golden Apple right down the street is doing tons of free comic book summer goodness. Check it out. I'm picking up some Donnie Cates stuff. I know he's got a book coming out. I'm really excited to pick up some Archie stuff. I've gotten into Archie this year. I wasn't into Archie last year, so Free Comic Book Day is a great day to both re-up things you love, but also discover new books. So pick up all sorts of goodness at Free Comic Book Summer. Check out your local comic store. Pick up some comics that aren't free while you're at it if you can afford it. There's lots of great comics that are on those very shelves, and comic books are ramping back up. Speaking of comic books that I did not expect that are going to be huge in my pull list and that are ramping up, there's a Rorschach comic coming out from Tom King. Now, you guys know my love of Tom King. He did Mr. Miracle, he did Vision, which WandaVision is definitely going to be inspired by. He did a Batman run that I really, really love most of. He is one of my all-time favorite comic book writers, and he happens to be super popular right now, so they're giving him a lot of the tentpole books. I'm so glad people love his work, and I'm so glad that DC is like, here, Rorschach. I would not want a Rorschach book if it wasn't for the Watchmen show to show me, oh, you can actually do like a world within Watchmen that lets you live in it but not ruin the original continuity. Like, I wouldn't have thought Watchmen should be touched until the show. But now that I've seen it handled with such love, I guarantee Tom King's the biggest Watchmen fan. Damon Lindelof being a giant Watchmen fan is why the show is so good. Tom King, I'm sure, is as well. I cannot wait to see how Tom King writes Rorschach. Art by Jorge Fornes. Yeah, Jorge Fornes is doing the art. I did not know this artist, but his work is great. I looked at some of his stuff. Very excited for Rorschach books. So we're getting a Watchmen comic from Tom King. It is coming out this fall. Very, very excited. Again, that's the kind of announcement that'd be a Ballroom 20 headline announcement at Comic-Con. So it's interesting the timing of all these news stories. They even paced out the year prepping for stuff like this. So it's a bummer Comic-Con can't have these reveals, but such is life. Tom King doing Rorschach is real, real rad. In the world of Batman, speaking of Tom King, Batman number 100 from James Tynion IV drops in October. Why is that exciting? Well, it's 100, but also because he's wearing a brand new Batsuit. Now, this Batsuit looks like George Clooney's. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not great. I'm not big in the design. It barely doesn't have nipples. The nipples are implied. But I'm curious about the story that leads to this suit. I'm always curious about how suits change, like how the character acts. I'm curious if it's not Bruce Wayne in there. This event he's doing, this Joker War, is gigantic. That could easily be someone else, like an Azrael type storyline. It could also be, a specialized suit he needs, like when Spider-Man does insulation to fight, Electro. This is exciting. I don't like the look of it, but we'll see. So check out the Batman number 100 Batsuit from James Tynion IV. There's going to be all new stuff coming this fall from James Tynion on for Batman. I'm enjoying his run. I don't know if you guys have been reading it. He's doing this great character called Punchline, who is Joker's new girlfriend. I enjoy the way he writes Harley Quinn. I think Harley is a very hard character to write because she can become really cloying very quickly. They've kind of turned her into DC's Deadpool, which is not a direction I would have necessarily gone, but when it lands, it really lands. I really like the way he writes Harley, and I really like the way he's shaping this big, multiple rogues gallery war on Batman. So I'm really digging his run. He did a great run on Detective Comics right before he took over the main Batman title, so Batman number 100 should be very, very fun. I'm excited. Let me go over to the live chat before I go to my comic pull list for this upcoming Wednesday. Michael is saying, I'm sure the suit will have a very specific purpose. I agree. I think it's for a fight suit. Joseph Ashley says, can you order free comics that can't go anywhere because of low immune system? If you call your local comic book store and ask them to hold them and have someone pick them up for you, that is what I would do. Or Mile High Comics and mycomicbookshop.com. Mile High Comics often has a deal where if you spend like $25, they put one of those free comic books in. You might be able to request it. It's really tricky times, so I'm sure if you have a single person that's willing to help you out, a local comic book store will hold them if you explain why. There's usually a limited supply. Someone might give you a hard time, but overall, comic book stores are pretty rad about that. Try reaching out to an individual, a human, instead of a company, and then if that doesn't work, maybe Mile High Comics if you want anything specific. Check those out. That's my recommendation, Joseph. Level 2 says he was on the Fosters. He's pretty good. The gentleman who has been cast in Black Adam is on the Fosters. Good to know. Let's see. Do you think actors and filmmakers with crew should be quarantined like dormitories so they can continue filming? I know they're trying that with a few low-budget productions. The scale of a large-budget film is literally hundreds. I can't imagine that's going to be safe. Even just makeup is 10 people, and then you're that close to people and you can't wear masks, there's no makeup. Like, there's so many variables. So maybe low budget things, your Blumhouse films, there's gonna be contained things that keep getting made. And those are the movies that are probably gonna land on streaming services and VOD. Another reason, movie theater movies, keep them. hold them, save them, because it's going to be a while till you can do something of the scale of these superhero joints, or your Bonds or your Dunes for a while. But I think you can do a small one, and I think you can quarantine for 14 days, and you can't leave set. You go right to your hotel. You only that pod of people is your pod. Also, level 2's got a really good point. You also have other countries where it's safer to film. A lot of people are leaving, but our passports aren't good in most countries. We're not welcome out because we're not handling this well. So a lot of places aren't welcoming us in. So it would depend on how many people are American in the crew, how tested they are to be welcome into the country. So yeah, Lord of the Rings did it in New Zealand, but that was with a different situation. So I don't know if we'll be able to film large scale in other countries unless it's a special circumstance. I know Tom Cruise is able to because he's Tom Cruise, but time will tell. Unprecedented times. Unprecedented times. Okay, back over to this week in comic books. I haven't finished last week's comics yet, so I cannot review them. Expect them done tomorrow or Monday, and check my Instagram and I'll post my top 9 comics. As ever, if you're a patron, a very low Patreon tier is me rating every single comic I read that month. So if you're curious about what I read every single week and you're curious what I thought of it, I rate every single book over on my Patreon, but I don't want to charge for everything. So by all means, my top 9 books, I always tell you guys which are my favorite books of the week. I want you guys to pick up comic books, so I never want that to be like a paywall. Paywalls suck. So I will be posting Sunday or Monday all of my favorites from last week. I haven't finished them yet, so I can't tell you what my favorites are. That said, the ones I'm most excited for this week on July 22nd, so this upcoming Wednesday. Today's Saturday, upcoming Wednesday. Most anticipated books are Amazing Spider-Man, Sin's Rising #1. Remember the Sin Eater from the 80s and 90s? He is back. I am fascinated how the Sin Eater is such an important character in Spider-Man mythology. He killed Jean DeWolf. He almost broke Spider-Man. He's a dude with a hockey mask on. Fascinated by the Sin Eater coming back. He's also tied to Venom mythology in a very interesting way. Chew, #1. Chew is getting re-released. Guess what? I'm going to admit it right here. I've never read Chew. Alex Shipp went on my show, Comic Book Shopping, and she told me all about her favorite comic, Chew, and I was like, a comic I've never read, and it sounds amazing. I have failed you. So I'm going to be checking out Chew #1, which drops on Wednesday. Very excited to check out Chew. It is Alex Shipp's favorite comic of all time, and she is fantastic. Daredevil #21, Chip Zdarsky. Chip Zdarsky. His Daredevil is perfect. It's so perfect. You might have noticed this little dot. That is from furrowing my brow, and that is me pretending to be Daredevil because I'm full of angst. No, it's from stress and not sleeping, but I'm going to pretend it's because Daredevil or Batman brow. Daredevil #21 from Chip Zdarsky is my most anticipated book of the week, and this is a big week in comics. Every single issue of his Daredevil has been a giant cliffhanger ending, incredible action in the middle, beautiful story in the first act. It is a beautiful arc every single issue. Issue #20 ends on the cliffhanger of cliffhangers, and it's earned through the 19 issues that preceded it. I won't give it away, but the issue 20 cliffhanger is insane. I don't know where 21's going to go. My most anticipated book of the week by a large margin. Chip Zdarsky, Daredevil #21. Next up is Decorum #3, a book that feels very John Wick and more existential John Wick. It's a book about assassins that have a code, but the book's all about the code, and it's told through 3 different storylines, and it's fascinating and dense and weird, and it's a lot of book, and I'm enjoying it. Next up, we've got Empire #2. Empire #2 is the second in the giant event series from Al Ewing about the Kree-Skrull War ending as they unite against one common threat. I haven't read Empire #1. That is next on my pull list, so I can't talk to Empire yet. The #0s they did were both fantastic, though, so I didn't expect to enjoy the #0s, and I liked them both. I'm excited for Empire, and the tie-ins got me there. That is a very rare occurrence. I'm usually really gung-ho, and I stay gung-ho, or I'm like lackluster, and I stay like, this was fun. I went from to woo with Empire. Okay, Empire Avengers #1 and Empire X-Men #1 both dropped this week. The tie-ins have begun. Both Avengers and X-Men get their first of the miniseries runs with their Empire tie-ins. Harley Quinn, Black and White and Red. This is a #4. I've missed them all because they're digital only, and I'm usually a print guy. I'm going to be checking those out this week. I'm very curious what Harley Quinn is up to from an incredible digital artist who's done some other Harley Quinn stuff I really dig. I see a super chat from Jesus I'm going to get to at the end of these comic books. Thank you, as ever, Jesus. Next up, we've got Hellions #2. I forgot Hellions was running because issue #1 was way back in February or March. Hellions is the team that Emma Frost lost, and now there's a new team of Hellions, and it is I really liked issue 1 now that I remember it exists, but holy crap. the leap between 1 and 2 is going to be really tricky for a lot of readers, including myself. Lord of Empire, Hulkling, number 1. Hulkling is leading this insane war in his own way. He's a very peaceful character generally. I'm curious what's going on with Hulkling, and this issue will tell me. New Mutants, number 11. I love the post-Hoxpox New Mutants book, and issue 11 drops this week. Finally, another book I forgot was coming out, and it's Andy Kubert. I love Andy Kubert on art. Wolverine number 3. There's a new Wolverine book. Issues 1 and 2 were way back in the early January, February. Now finally issue number 3 drops this week. I want to be back in the world of Wolverine. Very excited for Wolverine number 3. And finally concluding one of my favorite minis in a long time, again, Chip Zdarsky, much love for that man. X-Men Fantastic Four number 4, fittingly concluding with number 4. It's a miniseries. It's been at an apex of hype, and now we finally get the conclusion with X-Men Fantastic Four number 4. Usually in these team-up books, there's a reason the characters fight that's very, trite and cliche. The reason they fight in this book is amazing, and it's Terry Dotson art with Rachel Dotson inks. It is such a good book. It's visually stunning, and it's a lot of fun, very well written, very good miniseries. If you've only wanted to buy 4 comics for a while, check out this miniseries. Only 4 issues, great writing, great art. All right, Mr. Jesus Gastelum has this to say. More books have been read. Got to read 18 more books that I'm caught up with all series. Hell yeah. Also adding Berserker, Keanu Reeves' new comic book in October. Read Batman Beyond issues 36 to 44. 2 more weeks till I visit my local comic book store. This gentleman, I believe, was the one who had his comic book store closed because of COVID. Someone tested positive. They had to shut the store down for 2 weeks. I am glad you are caught up, good sir. You're very close to caught up, and in 2 weeks you're going back to your store. I respect the hustle and what you're reading. I was going to talk about that book in October, but yes, you're right. There is a new Keanu Reeves book written by Keanu Reeves, starring jacked immortal Keanu Reeves, called Berserker. I'm very curious what Keanu Reeves' writing sounds like. I'm going to hear it in his voice, and that's going to be a whole thing, especially because he looks like Keanu. Very excited for this book. Thank you for the super chat and for bringing up the Keanu Reeves-tastic Berserker, which fascinates me. How are you liking Batman Beyond? I actually haven't been reading it. There's a lot. I'm reading so many books. Batman Beyond fell off, so let me know what you think of Batman Beyond, either in the chat or in the comics, because I'm curious how that book is going. And congratulations for being back at your store. That is a good feeling. All right, let's see. Level 2, I don't know. They haven't asked me. If they want me to, they gotta ask. But probably. I mean, if scheduling allows, I'm down. I like doing watch-alongs on my channel, but if they want me to do one, I like those schmo folk. So yeah, probably. All right, over to what I am reading. We're almost done with the show. It is going to be a slightly short show. We're actually going to be under an hour for the first time maybe ever. Throw those last Streamlabs super chats and questions in because we are almost done for the week, which is good because I am leaving this garage and it is very hot. It is the last week of July. So next week when I come back, we're going to do August streaming recs. So there's not much in the way of what streaming recommendations I have for you guys this week because they don't usually put out stuff in the second half of the month. That said, last week on the 9th, it's also a good thing I'm stopping because I need some water. On the 9th, Zac Efron's Down to Earth came out, and it's exactly, I'm the audience. It's a bro-y nature show. I'm a bro. I self-admitted trying to be a good bro, but I appreciate bro culture when it's not like misogynistic assholes. There's a good bro in there. Trust me. Zac Efron, he's the pinnacle of good bro. He's using his incredible broness to make the world better. He's going around the world and showing ways we can be more sustainable. He's literally trying to fix the planet with awareness. He's using his celebrity exposure to bring awareness to important causes. That is the point of celebrity, in my opinion, is if you're famous, use your fame to shine a light on important shit. I love what Zac Efron's doing, and I think it's fascinating to see him just being a dude trying to fix the world, and he's doing a lot more than a lot of people. So Zac Efron's Down to Earth. I'm a big fan. It is on Netflix. I've only watched the first episode because I've been so busy, but his Iceland episode is so very good. If you haven't checked out his new show, it is on Netflix. It is streaming. It is 8 or 9 episodes. They're very digestible. Well, I've only seen one, but I'm very excited to dive back in when I have the internet again. But that is my streaming recommendation for the week. I am almost done with Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers. I've been reading it for 3 weeks, but it's been a very busy 3 weeks. I'll be wrapping that book up before I come back. I'm also rereading Ultimate Spider-Man. I am on issue 110. I'll be finishing up his run, Bendis and Bagley, then going to Bendis and I think it was Imanen, and then There's one more artist and then Miles. But I'm going to be reading all the way through Miles. Very excited to catch up to Modern Day with Ultimate Spider-Man. It has been a very fun read these last few weeks. Over to the live chat, and then I'm going to call it, and then I'm going to show you guys how hot this room is. Okay, let's see. I tried Clown Shoes Imperial Stout last night. It was awesome. Chad, I will have to try Clown Shoes because it's funny. It reminds me of Kevin Smith. All right, been enjoying Batman Beyond so far. Jesus says, love it so far. Started a new arc with Damian Wayne and the League of Assassins. Ooh, new arc. I will jump on this new arc. Thank you. I will check out these issues that are a new arcs. That way I don't have to backtrack. Thank you. New arc for Batman Beyond fans, and I'm a big fan of Damian Wayne. I appreciate it. My mom's plugging Coy-Cast. My most recent episode of Coy-Cast is I had Rob Liefeld on. I also had Rob on my audio show. So there's a 15-minute exclusive interview with me and Rob on my Coy-Cast. I always forget to plug my own stuff. Thank you, Mom. There is a Rob Liefeld interview on Coy-Cast this week that I'm very proud of. I had a lot of fun talking to Rob as ever, and there was a lot of news that broke. So last week's show is up right now. I am going to be doing Coy-Cast on Monday, so there will be a new Coy-Cast for you guys on Wednesday without fail, but this last episode was a lot of fun. I am very, very proud of it. Let's see. You have yet to find a stout anywhere in Santa Rosa? That is awful, E. Walter. I'm very sorry. As a stout man, that is rough. Miranda has this to say with the super chat. Haven't been keeping up with Doom Patrol. Just binged all the episodes, and wow, I have not. I have only watched Doom Patrol episodes 1 through 3 of season 1. I have a hard time keeping up with television, and comic book television feels like work because it's commentary stuff. So I told myself I needed to stop watching TV for work because I'm watching so many movies for work. So I'm taking a break on comic book TV, and I'm switching over to like The Good Place and The West Wing. Those are my 2 shows right now. And then when those are done, Community and West Wing. And then when those are done, I'm going to The Good Place and Kingdom. And eventually, when everything doesn't feel like work, I'll be jumping on Doom Patrol. But I have not been, and it'll be like 2 or 3 months till I'm back. But I will, and I'll review it, I promise you. But I have not been watching Doom Patrol, and it's not because of the lack of goodness of Doom Patrol. It has just been the insanity of the week. Amaster99891. I'm living in a garage because my lease ran out in a place, and I was supposed to travel this year. So I rented a garage to basically have my stuff in it and a bed. And then I was going to be traveling a lot. I had 4 trips booked, and I was going to use this as a studio and just like be very lean and zen. And then literally 2 weeks after that, the coronavirus struck. So I got stuck in a garage, and my lease ran out, and now I am free. I also lost my job right around the time of coronavirus, so that added 2 things. It's been a mess of a year, but you guys, especially patrons, have been invaluable in helping me get the fuck out of this garage and in making this year so much better. So I couldn't have done any of this without you. I have not used $1 of the Patreon movie money for like whimsy. It's all gone to putting in savings so I can move out, and that is exactly what I'm getting to do. So this is the last show in this garage, but I moved into this out of extreme circumstance followed by, oh fuck, pandemic. Good God. So timing sucked, and then the world sucked, and then more suck, but you guys have done the opposite. You've helped and been amazing. So I hope that answers that question. Let's see. Jimmy Mac with the super chat. What a rough week. Hopefully this helps even in the slightest. Is this the new place? Missed the start of the stream. Loving comics and craft beer. Keen for a new ep. Hello from Australia. Dude, thank you. Hello from Australia is appreciated. I love that country so very much. I was there for a few weeks filming a movie and fell so madly in love, and I have a bunch of friends that are native Australians that are out here doing acting stuff, and they're all some of my favorite people, so Aussies are near and dear to my heart. Newtown is one of my favorite places in the entire planet. Keep Newtown weird. The Dindy in Newtown is my exact shit. I love Newtown. It's my vibe. I will have a home in Newtown one day. Thank you from America to Australia, and a lot of love for Aussies. So thank you, Jimmy Mac. This is not my new place. This is my old place, and that is perfect timing for next time we're on air. So a week after next, it is going to be not a slightly up angle on me. It is going to be positioned better. I'm hoping to have, I have a 4K camera that I own that I don't know how to hook up to my laptop to air. I have a cam link thing. I've got all the setup. I have the tools, but I don't know how. So I've been trying to learn how to do that on YouTube. Hopefully when I'm back, I've got a microphone. My mom and a fan sent me microphones. So I've got 2 microphones, one for a guest and one for me when it's safe. Josh Brokaw sent me this incredible podcast mic. Thank you, Josh Brokaw, if you're watching this. Josh Brokaw sent me this incredible podcast mic. I've gotten that to work, but I can't get that and the new camera to work. So hopefully with this time of rebuilding, I'm going to come back with a beautiful camera, a nice new setup, cool like structure for the show, and that's what season 2 is going to be. I'm very, very excited for all of those things. That said, you guys want to see where I've been living? You guys want this? Okay. Season 1 concluding. This is the end of this set. So this has been the Wall of Justice. It has been the great Vegeta, Wolverine, Hulk, Spider-Man, Deadpool, Daredevil, Captain America. Who's next to Cap? Iron Man is Dark, and Batman Beyond have been holding up the roof. Then we've got an original, those are all by Danny Haas, by the way. Danny Haas is an incredible digital artist. I'm a big fan of Danny Haas. I have a lot of his work. There's actually more Danny Haas behind those pieces, and I've had to double layer because I ran out of frames. Next up, we have Chris Ecto. That is an original painting from Chris Ecto, this amazing New York artist. I'm actually going to be getting more Chris Ecto for the new place. I am a huge fan of his work. That is a Chris Ecto piece on canvas of my boy Deadpool. This is an original digital Conor McGregor piece from Mosaic. Then we have a John Romita Sr. Spider-Man canvas right here. Then we've got, I don't remember who did this. It was a piece online. I'm a monster. That is a Stranger Things original that I love very, very much. It's a print. It's not an original like copy. It's a print, but I love it so much. The upside down is reflected so beautifully. And then that is Childish Gambino's Because of the Internet. And those are all handwritten lyrics. Again, a print, but handwritten lyrics on that. And then this had been my kitchen. And then light ring, and then this was the space I had. It is not big, but this is where I was. So, I rarely get personal about my own shit, but I had 200 feet, and they served me well, and I am getting out of them. This has been my set, this is my home, and now it is over. This is the final episode of Season 1 of Koi Cubed. I am leaving this kitchen and getting a real one. That fridge is tiny, and I'm getting a full one. I'm getting a home with things, and I'm very excited. And again, I'm never personal, but I wanted to share that with you guys because you are the koi pond that I love very, very dearly. This is my last moment in this building. I'm literally packing up this stuff and leaving. So I appreciate you guys sharing this experience with me. The pillows are coming. They're coming to season 2. There's gonna be 2 new pillows for season 2. So thank you guys so much for this journey. I really, really appreciate it. Amistar 99891. Thank you very much for the super chat. Awesome. Enjoyed the new apartment. I very much appreciate you. That will go directly to a piece of art for the new apartment. That'll be a direct $20 towards art. I very do sincerely appreciate it. Lots of love for the place in, what is the temperature in the garage? It is, last I checked right before airing, 93 in here. This is authentic. When I say sweaty, it's in honor of John Schnepp. But in this setting, it is in honor of nature and John Schnepp. So when I've been getting sweaty with you guys, it's honoring John, it's honoring Southern California, and it's honoring me getting the fuck out of here. I love you guys so very much. Stay safe, stay sane, stay well. Thank you for being here, and thank you, as always, to Comic Books for existing. I will see you guys in a week and a half, and I'll see you on Friday for Comic Books and Craft Beer from Tavour. Remember, $10 off using the code KOY10, COY10, at the Tavour app for $10 off beer after you spend $25. I'm doing a plug at the end of the show because I want to drink with you guys. We're going to drink on Friday. Friday, we're doing a craft beer and comic books. Tavour is a fantastic company. I love them very much. Now I'm actually leaving. Okay. Oh, under an hour. We did it. Okay. Much love, guys. I'll see you in the new place. It has doors. Okay. I'll see you soon. Bye.